Hello, my dear students of Benguet State University. Welcome to our online class. I am your teacher, Jan Lasea.
Ladies and gentlemen, a blessed day to everyone. This is my lecture on our laboratory subject of IT 125, Systems Integration and Architecture 1. Let us learn PHP Functions. A function is a group of statements that together perform a task. You can divide up your code into separate functions. How you divide up your code among different functions is up to you. But logically, the division, usually each function performs a specific task. A function declaration tells the compiler about a function's name and parameters. A function definition provides the actual body of the function. In computer programming and data structures and algorithm subject, we apply functions in coding so that to manage the code and as well as to divide and conquer computer programming problems. For example, the problem is to find a perfect number. We divide the problem into three functions, namely is divisible, is perfect number, and find perfect numbers. Then the problem becomes less difficult to solve when you write the algorithm codes for each function that perform a task one at a time. Finally, when all the three functions are complete and correct, then you have already conquered or solved the problem. A function often accepts one or more arguments, which are values passed to the function by the code that calls it. The function can then read and work on those arguments. A function may also optionally return a value that can then be read by the calling code. In this way, the calling code can communicate with the function. You can think of a function as a black box. The code that calls a function does not need to know what's inside the function. It just uses the function to get the job done. Defining and calling a function. The syntax of defining a function: you begin by writing the keyword function, followed by a name that you baptize. The name should be meaningful, that relates to its performed task, followed by formal parameter variables which are optionally enclosed by parentheses. The body of the function is enclosed by curly braces. The return statement is optional, that its purpose is to pass or communicate to the calling code the result value. Here are the syntaxes of calling a function. To call a function, just call by its name, and it is like calling a person's name to draw his or her attention. If there are formal parameter variables in the definition of the function, then mandatory you must pass arguments or argument upon calling a function. If there is a return statement in the definition of the function, then you must call the function, the name of the function, in an assignment statement with an equal sign. Parameter passing to functions. Number 1. Pass by value. If a variable is passed by value, then the called function gets an identical copy of the variable's value, which means any changes made are lost when the function exits or the variable's value did not change. You can pass a variable or constant value in a pass by value. Syntax of a function with formal parameter. To pass by reference into the function, simply To declare a formal parameter variables, you simply name the variable in PHP that begins with a dollar symbol and separate its variable name by comma. Parameter passing to functions. Number 2, pass by reference. If a variable is passed by reference, then the address of an argument variable is copied into the formal parameter variable. Inside the function, the memory address, is used to access the actual argument used in the call. This means that changes made to the formal parameter variable will change the variable's value passed to call of the function. You cannot pass constant value in pass by reference. Syntax of a function with a formal parameter. To pass by reference into the function, simply prefix the formal parameter variable with ampersand. Example of pass by value and pass by reference. The place where you write and define the function can be placed on top, at the middle, or at the end. In other words, you can place anywhere in your PHP code. The variable $num initialized to 5 is a global variable. The function pass by value has a formal parameter $x that indicates pass by value, while the function pass by reference has a formal parameter $x with prefix ampersand that indicates pass by reference. The function name pass by value is called, and the argument $num is passed by value. The formal parameter $x receives the value 5 being passed. The body of the function changes the value of the variable $x from 5 to 3. In pass by value, the global variable $num remain unchanged. Still, the value of the global variable $num is 5. The function name passed by reference is called, and the argument $num is passed by reference. The formal parameter variable $x receives the memory address of the global variable $num. Thus, the variable $x becomes a pointer that points to the memory address of the variable $num. The body of the function changes the value of the variable $x from 5 to 3. In pass by reference, the global variable $num changes its value from 5 to 3. Therefore, the outputs of these PHP codes are pass by value, num is 5, pass by reference, num is 3. The global variable num is 3. Example of local and global variables. Local variables are variables whose scope is accessible only inside the body of the function. Global variables are variables whose scope is accessible inside the PHP code file. The declared variable $num initialized to 5 is a global variable. The function name local variable is called. The body of the function has a local variable $num initialized to 10. The variable $num here is a local variable, not a global variable. Therefore, the global variable $num does not change its value. Its value is still 5. The function name global variable is called. The body of the function has a reference, the global variable $num, to be accessed inside the function by writing this command global $num. Therefore, the global variable $num here is referencing the global variable $num, not a local variable anymore, and it will change its value to 10. Therefore, the outputs of the PHP codes are local variable, num is 5, global variable, the global variable num is 10. Example of a function that returns value. The function computesum has two formal parameter variables, $num1 and $num2. The body of the function has a return statement. It returns the sum of the two passed values to the calling code. The line $sum is equal to computesum 57 will pass the two constant values as passed by value. The formal parameter variable $num1 receives the value 5, while the formal parameter $num2 receives the value 7. The return statement computes the sum 5 plus 7 equals 12. Thus, the $sum receives the return result of 12. The line $sum is equal to computesum $num and 3 as two arguments. The formal parameter variable $num1 receives the value 5, while the formal parameter $num2 receives the value 3. The return statement computes the sum 5 plus 3 equals 8. Thus, the $sum receives the return result of 8. Therefore, the outputs of these PHP codes are the sum is 12 and the sum is 8.
That ends our topic for today. I hope you have learned in my class. Thank you for watching. Carry on until tomorrow. God bless us.